Hello and welcome to the quick gameplay demonstration of Homestead. Homestead is an isometric real-time strategy tower defense game where players get to water their crops with the blood of their enemies. So without further ado, let's get started. As the game initializes, I'm going to hit pause to allow us to take a look at the HUD. There are two main resources in Homestead, and that is money and blood. In the top left, we can see our current reserves of money, as well as our health. Health is tied to the homestead at the center of our board. If enemies reach the center building here, our health will deplete and the game will be over. In the top right, we can see our blood reserves and the extraction rate of blood. This is a detail that I'll explore further in depth in a minute. At the very center, we can see our wave countdown. This shows the countdown until the next wave, and then we'll display the current wave in progress. Next, I would like to demonstrate another feature. Depending on where the mouse is and the tile that you're hovering over, a ghost preview will appear showing you the type of building that you are about to select, or that you have selected. Above it, you'll see a window showing the name and differing stats, as well as the price of that building. You can also hover over buildings already placed down, which will show you the range, health, or blood cost of any given building. You can also see additional information, such as how much money wheat produces, and some details about how it works, if it's a unique building such as wheat. The homestead here is, as I've said earlier, your home operations. If any enemies get here and do enough damage to the homestead, it's game over. The next detail I'd like to demonstrate is our radial menu. If I right-click, radial menu pops up. Here we see our two different options for types of buildings we can place, those being defense and economy. Defense consists of towers and barriers. Towers, like the archer towers already around the homestead, are automatically shooting autonomous buildings that destroy enemies within their range. Towers cost money to be placed, and then towers of tier 2 or higher cost blood per second to operate. This contributes to our extraction rate, which can go into the negative. While it's in the negative, every second, that number will be depleted from our blood reserves, and should it hit 0, all towers that run on blood will go dark and will not continue to operate until enough blood is added or the extraction rate gets positive. The other type of tower that we can place, or the other type of defense building, are barriers. Barriers are placed around other buildings to add additional defense, and can occasionally have other effects, such as the spike barrier, which deals damage to enemies that hit it. I'm going to go ahead and unpause the game and fly over to the north to demonstrate our basic tower functionality. I'm going to start with one archer tower and let the game run. Here we can see our first enemy. It is moving from the north and aiming for the homestead, and we can watch as the archer tries to take it down. And then we can see the blood splatter once it dies. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game one more time. As we can see, our archer here has all these enemies in range, but you might have noticed that when the enemy died, it splayed into a bunch of blood. This is where we get our blood and how we can extract it. And this is also an opportunity to demonstrate the other type of building we can create. When I right-click and open our pop-up menu, this time I'm going to click Economy. Here we can see the different towers that we can build that generate revenue or resources for our economy. The one we're going to look at first is our blood pump. The blood pump costs 100 gold, or money, that is, and can be placed anywhere. You can see the range around it, and that it will draw blood from the ground, generating at least 25 blood per second, depending on the amount of blood in the ground. More enemies that die near a tile, the more blood-soaked it becomes, and the more blood that a pump can extract from the ground. I'm going to go ahead and place one right here to extract the blood spilled from this first wave of enemies. And then I'm going to unpause. Now we can see the blood getting drawn into the pump and our extraction rate going up. It's gone to 0 because it has drawn most of the blood out from the ground. I'm going to go ahead and pause one more time. In order to generate more blood in the ground, I'm going to place a higher tier tower. I'm going to start with the tier 2 tower cannon and place it right here. And unpause. You can see the flashing red light indicates that our blood rate is at negative, but now that it's in the positive again, it no longer flashes. While we were distracted, enemies managed to get to the homestead. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game one more time. While this was happening, to prevent this from happening, I'm going to build up our defenses. I think I'll build a turret, which has short range but a fast fire rate, and place it in between the oncoming enemies and us. I'm also going to surround it with a barrier. Now, I am running low on money. In order to generate more money, I'm going to have to place crops. Crops generate money over time, and I'm going to place one right here. I'm now out of money, so I'm going to have to unpause the game and resume. But now we're running out of blood, so I'm going to have to place another blood pump. Despite the additional crop, I think I'm generating money too slowly, so I'm going to have to build another tower. That is a sprinkler. Sprinklers use blood and can be placed near crops to make them generate money, to make them grow and generate money at a faster rate. Here we can see that happening. With the additional revenue, I can add some more crops to ensure the longevity of our homestead. Now we have a relatively stable income of both blood and money, but this won't last for long, as enemies are going to come from other directions where we're less secure, and more of them with different stats are going to come. So we're going to have to continue to build up our defenses. But the more defenses we build, the more blood it's going to take to run them, and the more money it's going to cost to build more. And hence we enter the loop of Homestead. Homestead is a delicate balance between blood and money, and ensuring that our development of our defenses is matched by the development of our economic buildings. If I unpause here, I can continue to go. I've added another tower, and for now that has stemmed the flow, but I am going to need more blood. I'm going to focus my blood pumps on areas that I don't already have one. And I'm going to take a look at some tier 3 buildings to help offset some of the dangers. Tier 3 towers are usually more effective and do special effects and deal more damage. In order to demonstrate some of the features, I'm going to go ahead and place more towers to lose additional blood. Alright, we've now hit 0 blood, and I'm going to pause the game. You can now see that our towers have grayed out. That means they are no longer in operation and are not dealing any damage. This can be extremely dangerous for players trying to survive. And often, the only solution may be selling a tower or building archers' towers, which do not cost any blood. And with that, I will conclude my demonstration of Homestead. Thank you for watching.